Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated. After 4 weeks of preliminary qualifiers, after 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this one incredible day of exciting track and field action. Come on! It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Randy James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games.
The demand by teachers across the region for payment for correcting SBAs has been simmering under the surface for years now. In the latest development, some of the region's teachers are threatening not to correct the SBAs if there's no promise of payment by CXC. The August regional body faces its stiffest challenge in its 4 decades existence. The former registrar and chief executive officer of CXC, Dr. Didicus Jules, says CXC can ill afford to make this payment and, if forced so to do, will have to pass on the additional cost to the students.
No, I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed because the issue of payment for marking exams in general arose when I was registrar of CXC. And one of the first things I had done was to go to council asking for a significant increase in the subventions paid to CXC in order to pay markers much more, because there had been no increase for the preceding 25 years. So we felt that it was necessary to ensure that markers were given, more significant compensation for their marking.
During his tenure at the helm of CXC, Dr. Jules says he and the man who currently occupies his former seat tried desperately to address that concern.
The SBA from its inception was one of the most far-sighted things that the CXC could have done that distinguished it from Cambridge. Because as you know, just let's speak conceptually. First of all, the SBA is an opportunity to for students to apply the knowledge in whatever subject that they are doing to real life and to show the application of knowledge. That's one dimension. The second important dimension is that it is an opportunity for the teacher, the classroom teacher, who has interacted with the students throughout the year, to have a significant input into the grading, whatever is the final grade of their students, and therefore not just rely on a 2 or 3 hour exam, do or die.
The Caribbean Examination Council has held firm to the view that school-based assessment is part of the normal classroom duties for teachers, and they should therefore not be paid any additional amount for assessing the SBAs.
It's very unfortunate because I think in some ways, this is a debate that is focused on the money, and the SBAs it's not a monetary thing. Neither was it meant to be an imposition on teachers that would unduly tie up their time and create extra effort. All of that was supposed to be fitted within the ambit of the work that they do in their classrooms, and to give value to that in awarding final grades to students.
The Caribbean Examination Council is one of the region's outstanding successes, with passes in CXC subjects accepted for registering for post-secondary courses in the Caribbean, the United Kingdom, India, the United States, and other places. CXC, because of its use of innovation and its credibility, is considered a model in many far-flung regions of the world. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.
4 special committees established to support management of Grenada's education system. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, April 3rd, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. 4 committees have been established to assist and support the management of Grenada's education system. During the weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday, Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, the Honorable Emmeline Pear, said the committees will focus on school management, values-based education, special intervention and support, and school inspection.
1, to do with school management. 2, values-based education, and you've heard me speak about the issue of spiritual development in the life of students, but we want to broaden that to specifically look at values-based education and the implication, the impact that that can have on the all-round development of any student. Special intervention and support, and in that particular committee, we are looking at some special case schools that urgent intervention is required, and we have started that. And the 4th area, school inspection. Now, many of you might be well aware that we do have school operating in some locations that are not suitable. And so the Education Act speaks about continuous school inspection. And while this has not been done formally because of the magnitude of that particular responsibility, we see it as absolutely necessary to find a way to get that done. We've established a special committee. We intend to engage additional persons to get it done, because if you're going to use the regular education officers, the regular health officers in the system, obviously there would not be much movement there. So we are seriously pursuing a new plan for the inspection of schools, and that is to begin within the next coming months.
We're just 2 days away from what promises to be an exciting athletic action at the National Stadium when athletes with the 2 best times from each zone in each category meet at the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium on Friday to compete for the inaugural championship trophy in the National Secondary School Sports. Assistant Coordinator for Sports, Curlin Peters, who was a guest on the GIS Spice Morning program this week, says they are even seeking to facilitate the athletes who did not make it to the Carriacou team.
You know, when you start something, it's a little shaky. The turnout in St. George's was a little poor.
So that is where the concern is about the
that's
selection
really
of that
concern
team.
in some of the events, especially with the female. But what we have done to help some of the athletes, that you can remember that around that time there was, speaking about they had to compete at the national trials for Carriacou.
Okay.
So now most of them now calling, so we don't get you on the Carriacou team and we want to compete together. So what we have done to assist them in that form, we have open the relays.
Okay.
So you could select the zone, have the permission to select the relay teams from people within the zone.
Okay.
So some of the athletes that are good and didn't get an opportunity to compete, they will be able to come in with
placement.
Placement on the relay team. But when we met with the coaches this week, like they start saying, well, we're gonna win that. They start checking.
Okay, right. Who they have and so.
Who they have and who they. So I think it's really charged up to have a good competition, and it shows for the future of the event, because I know for the next year and the following years, because that is not the stop.
Okay, it will continue.
It will be much more exciting. I think everybody will be on board from day one.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
After 4 weeks of preliminary qualifiers, after 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this. 1 incredible day of exciting track and field action. Come on! It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Carriacou James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games.
Continuing the news, with greater community involvement can come a better visitor experience. That was the focus of the second consultation involving Ministry of Tourism, representatives from the Tourism Authority and other players in the industry as they seek to increase visitor numbers so that more will be spending. As part of the process, an e-forum will be created for tour operators to interact with communities, which will in turn create the products that visitors want. Consultant Dr. Oliana Poon has been in dialogue with Grenada's Tourism Minister for the last 3 years on ways to create benefits for tourism working with communities.
And fully benefiting is not only about more customers, but customers actually spending more. And the key word here is experiences. It's not just about a product, it's not just a service, but it's a fantastic experience that people find memorable and they can take away and they want to come over and over again, and they want hundreds of people to come to Grenada, to visit Grenada, because they had such a brilliant experience. And at the end of the day, Grenadians and communities need to feel tourism in their pockets and on their tables.
Tourism Minister Dr. Clarice Modeste-Kerwin agrees that visitors need much more than attraction sites to be able to boast of the ultimate experience. She says it is important to find the right mix, especially since the sector has the potential to grow bigger with the recognition Grenada has been receiving through sports and culture.
It is very important that tourism is seen or felt to be everybody's business and not just have it deemed as a statement that we in the industry make. So we have the beautiful Grand Anse Beach, we have Grand Tang and so on, but in every community there's something special, something unique that we can build around it to make it a tourism attraction or a tourism activity that people can pleasure themselves in. And everywhere you go, Grenada is blessed with something that we can do. And unless the community sees a little bit more of the tourism dollars trickling down their way, then we cannot truly say that tourism is everybody's business.
Mrs. Brenda Hood, advisor to the Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation, says community involvement for a memorable experience means hearing from people in the communities on how they see themselves benefiting financially.
There is so much to offer. I mean, the experiences that the tourists are looking for these days, we have a lot to offer, and therefore we need to look at what we have. We need to package it in a way that when people come to Grenada, they can say, wow, we had a great experience, and the rest of the region can look at Grenada as an example. As you can tell, the industry is improving from day to day, but at the same time, we want the experiences to improve, and we want the people to benefit financially from the growing industry.
Grenada's stance on gender equality was the focus of a just concluded two-day workshop on gender mainstreaming. It included discussion on the legislation, policies and programs relating to gender. The ultimate aim of the workshop is to educate stakeholders in an effort to achieve gender equality. Details from Delroy Louison.
The two-day workshop brought together various gender focal points from different spheres in society, as well as government officials, to come up with a clear understanding of Grenada's stance on gender equality and its regional priorities. The initiative was done within the context of the Beijing Platform for Action, which, according to UN Women, is an agenda for women's empowerment. Addressing the gathering on Tuesday, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, Veronica Charles, said we must be conscious of gender mainstreaming, which must be included in everything we do, being mindful of the many issues of gender equality which affect men and women.
We know that we do have focal points here representing every ministry, every statutory body, and other agencies, our social partners. So we hope at the end of the day that these focal points and government officials will have the tools to integrate programming for gender equality in the ministries, agencies, and divisions. That gender focal points and other government officials have a shared understanding of country-based and regional gender equality priorities within the context of the Beijing Platform for Action.
Minister for Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, the Honorable Delma Thomas, said the workshop brings persons closer to realizing gender equality.
Government is committed
to gender mainstreaming. In fact, the very fact that there are 7 women in the parliament speaks to our commitment as a government. The very fact that we have a woman as a governor general and many women are now on boards, it speaks to our commitment as a government. I also want to commend UN Women who have always been there with us in assisting us, our gender policies and all other actions we have taken as a ministry and as a government in promoting equality among women and men in our country. Today's workshop is a closer step to gender equality. So it assists us in realizing gender equality. This involves the integration of gender perspectives into the preparation, design, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of policies, regulations, measures, and spending programs with a view of promoting equalities between women and men and eliminating discrimination.
One of the facilitators, Deputy Representative for UN Women Caribbean, Tony Ann Bruder, gave an overview of the 2-day workshop. She said gender issues are not theoretical in nature, but are real-life issues experienced by men and women.
What we're going to be doing is going through gender in a real lived way. So you understand, as the PS indicated, how to mainstream gender in a way that means something. The Prime Minister of Barbados challenged us last year at a meeting for ministers and representatives of bureaus of gender affairs across the region. And she said, you know, you guys come together often to talk about gender, but what does this mean for the people of the Caribbean? And that is what we need to start figuring out. Not only how can we integrate it so that it resonates in true, substantive, realized change for the citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and the entire Caribbean.
One of the expected outcomes of the workshop is having gender focal points and government officials understand the gaps to achieving gender equality nationally and regionally, and a commitment to take action to bridge those gaps. For the National Report, I'm Delroy Loza.
And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Qualifiers. After 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this. 1 incredible day of exciting track and field action. Come on! It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Randy James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games. Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Sheldon Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Randy James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Grenada, the games have evolved. The National Secondary School Games, Friday, 5th April. We will witness intense athletic competition, fierce but friendly rivalry, and a unique display of sportsmanship. All the secondary schools across the Tri-Island will compete for the championship. The National Secondary School Games, Carriacou James Athletic Stadium. Our nation's children still have a dream. The opportunity will shape their destiny. The National Secondary School Games, Friday, 5th April. Your future, your game.
The Grenada government will keep all of its commitment to all of the workers, and it is committed to doing so in a fair and responsible manner. Under government's pension proposals, it will give a smaller upfront payment to all public servants and higher monthly pension, on average $400 more than the unions are demanding. In the end, workers get all their money, but government's proposal ensures that all the other many commitments to all other citizens are met. We can only build strong communities when we look out for each other. The true Grenadian spirit is always reasonable and fair.
And good morning to Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martin. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. Yeah, a bit late this morning. Yeah. Yes, indeed. It's a beautiful Thursday. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know the stations we're on because you're listening via the stations. Yeah. You're listening via the stations, so I'm pretty sure that you know which stations that we're broadcasting on. All right. We're also online on www.hardtalkgrenada.com, also on Hard Talk Grenada Live. Yeah, I'm just hearing a kind of echo and I'm wondering where it's coming from, man. Yeah, let me see if I can pull up the music. And
talent we have down there in this land, it is too much for me to mention. Yeah. The level of education keep rising to higher heights, and if I'm wrong, don't say that I'm right. No, I want to tell everybody I'm so proud of my country. Don't care wherever I may be, I say Grenada belongs to me. No country in this world could do the things that my country would do for me. I am proud, I love my Grenada, my homeland forever. Sing the chorus louder, tell them about Grenada, the land of my grandfather.
I think it should be okay now. If not, we're just going to run with it as it is, huh? Remember, folks, tomorrow it's going to be the secondary school sports. That's going to be taking place at the Grenada National Stadium. Yeah, all of the young people are going to be heading out there. Yeah, so there's going to be some wonderful athletic competitions taking place tomorrow at the Grenada National Stadium. Yeah?
Sometimes when I go to a foreign country, such as the United States, who's so wealthy, I just beg the Father to have some mercy. When I see madness in society, okay. Sometimes I put on my TV to check out the daily news. The things I see that have me confused. Hey.
Yeah, so tomorrow the National Secondary School Sports
on the street
will be taking place at the Grenada, well, not the Grenada National Stadium, no, we have that. Yeah, we have the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium.
Diamond and silver, but we just live in unity. And
it's going to be starting at 9 a.m.
Yes, then I come to realize, oh God.
It's been done on a zonal basis, so you have the eastern zone, the western zone, the northern zone, and the southern zone.
Forever, sing the chorus louder, tell them about Grenada, the land of my...
So yeah, it's back to Carriacou combined, and they're coming down, eh? Yeah, we always say Carriacou combined would be dangerous. So let's find out, you talking about Carriacou. Yes, I'm talking about Carriacou. Yeah, Carriacou, we coming down, yeah.
The last time Carriacou combined, man, it was almost havoc in Queen's Park.
Carriacou coming down, eh? That's if they ain't already down. I ain't think they'll come down tomorrow for tomorrow. I feel Carriacou down already.
Should have been down already.
Yeah, most likely Carriacou is down already. We'd like to congratulate Digicel for being the sponsor of the uniforms of the various teams. So we'd like to congratulate the Bigger Better Network, Digicel, for providing the uniforms for the various teams. Yeah. That's how corporate citizenship works. Nice? Yeah. The phone lines are open 4407377
and 347-329-3101.
Getting some false impressions about us.
Good to see that finally some of them are listening. Yeah, they're calling up my name this morning, eh? Yeah, confirm it. I'll confirm it for you. The government of Grenada were not the ones that made a request to raise the retirement age. That was a request from the NIS, who got that request through the actuarial report. Yeah? Nice.
It's time to check up on you.
It's not Dr. Mitchell and the NNP wake up and say raise the retirement age. And when you all start to call out the age of people in the new National Party,
oh God, a nice place, Grenada.
Careful, eh?
And you'll be proud.
Because both your immediate former political leader and present interim political leader are over the age of 60.
Tell them about Grenada, the land of my grandfather.
Don't tell me Auntie Anne went and ran against Auntie Pam Day. Don't tell me she's under 60. She's over 60.
Yeah.
She's over 60.
Such a paradise. Oh God.
Ray Roberts is a walking geriatric. He's over 60 as well, yeah?
If we learn to pull we hand.
Well, George Vincent is under 60. Come on, we're going down. Yeah, we're going down. The chap whose name nobody could remember and has disappeared from Insane Mark, he's over 60 as well. We have a call online.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, my friend.
I have no political affiliation, all right? But I just want to find out if this game you all have and that has been put on, if it's going to really substitute for intercall and how long it's intended to have them kind of games going on for.
Okay, first mistake, it's not you all putting on the games. You see, there's no one, the first thing, anybody that has their political leaning, they just call and the first thing they just say is, me and no political leaning. That's the first thing. Just call and say. I've been around in this business long enough to know that's exactly the first statement that's come out when an NDC person calls a NNP program. Yeah? That the first thing that's come out of the mouth is that me and no political leaning. The second thing is, in your statement, you said you all. So it's obvious that you're trying to say that the new National Party is the ones putting on the games. That, again, is not the case. The government of Grenada, the Ministry of Youth, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, the Ministry of Sports, they are the ones that are putting together and have had the games. Is the game going to substitute for the intercall games? Time alone will tell. You may very well have a situation that in 2020, you have an intercall games and you also have a national secondary school sports, isn't it, Devon?
Yeah.
You may very well find yourself in a situation where you have both of them taking place next year. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah? But as it is, we can confirm that there's no intention of this being a one-off. There's no intention of this not taking place next year and the year after and continuing. There will be teething problems as with anything. Yeah, as with anything. You're opening something, you have teething problems, you're starting something. Nobody starts anything perfect.
Nope, can't.
Papa God, who is Papa God, create the earth. And when he create the earth, he still end up in a problem with Adam and Eve. So if Papa God could have a problem when he starts something, who is the government of Grenada to have teething issues when they're starting a games? Papa God had problem. He started thing. And then bim by. Adam and Eve started to get trouble in the garden.
And real trouble too,
Yeah, they started to get trouble in the garden. So in all things, you have teething problems when they start off. And this is the first edition of the games. It was, for what has been achieved thus far, it is amazing. All of the positive things that have been achieved thus far when we speak of the National Secondary School Games. And it is amazing because in the short space of time that was given, it was not a situation that sometime in 2018 you heard that there will be no intercall games and you received notification that from the union to their members that they will not be participating in the intercall games. And so, yeah, that took place kind of at the drop of a hat. The Principals Association said, at a point in time that usually you're launching the intercall games, the Principals Association came out and they said that they will not be holding an intercall games this year. That was one. Secondly, you also had the issue with the intercall games in that Scotiabank is folding up in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Scotiabank is basically at the end of their tether in the Caribbean. They're being absorbed by, I think it's RBTT? RBTT or Republic Bank, one of them?
RBTT, I think.
They're being absorbed, and they have been the people that have been funding the intercall games for many, many, many years. So it is a case where, one, the source of funding that's usually available for the games, for the intercall games, may not, because you don't know if the new entity that's taking over will decide that they're going to follow up and they're going to continue sponsoring an intercall games in Grenada. So that's one aspect. And the second aspect is that the industrial issues with the teachers continue. I think we have another call online. Okay, we lost that one. Yeah. 4407377, the overseas
and
number?
347-329-3101.
I've been getting complaints that we're not taking the overseas calls, and that is totally Sheldon's fault. Don't blame Devon, eh? That is totally Sheldon. We have a call online.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Devon.
Good morning, friend.
Good morning, Sheldon Scott.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Yes, something else, just an observation what I have a long time out watching. When they have the press briefing, and if Sheldon, you could play back, one also play back the clips and them and see the tables and them what the ministers and press secretaries were sitting on. That's my observation, and I feel we should have something come down in front of to bar it off. Take a look.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks for your observation, my friend.
And the next thing, Devon and Sheldon, what I want to do for me, please, to look at I just want to call the Met Office and to find out the weather conditions for tomorrow, because I know you have a lot of people praying for rain. That's what I have to say.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Have a wonderful day.
Let it pray, man. They could pray as much as they want. Yeah? God does things in his own time and his own way. We have a call.
Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Sometimes this is why Grenadians or people don't speak out, because the many times you speak out or you say something, everybody figure out it's politically motivated. Understand? Now, as we are accustomed to going to intercall as adults and watch the children participate in the different races, different schools represented. You know, some of us are past students. Now, when you have a sports and a zonal, as compared to you might be from St. David's and you're back in St. David's Catholic Secondary. Understand? The excitement you get from it as compared to how you might have this zonal sport right now. It's nothing to do with political or politically motivated anything.
Okay.
Well, that's exactly what we said.
Thanks for your contribution, my
because
friend.
This is a program of the New National Party. You call this program and said the sports that you all are having. So if you're saying you all are having on a program of the New National Party, you are directly, not indirectly, directly inferring that the sports is being held by the New National Party, which is untrue. The government of Grenada is who is holding the sports. And that is what we made very clear after you called the first time. Yeah? 4407377. That's 4407377.
347-329-3101.
Yes, indeed.
So it's another beautiful day out here in Grenada, and we expect another beautiful day tomorrow, please the Lord, when the nation's children, secondary schools, will be meeting in the zonal competition of the National Secondary Schools game.
Yeah.
What a day it will be.
Good morning, Antonia and Dali. And Antonia, don't use up all your data today, you know. I have to see Javon later. Right. Patricia and Brenda. Yeah, good morning to all of you. Sonia is in. Good morning to you, Sonia. We all hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day today. All right? Nice. Yeah. Yeah, don't use up all the data. Don't use up all the data.
At all.
All right, we're gonna use the overseas line.
Good morning and welcome.
Yes, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning to you, my friend.
Yeah, I know we having something tomorrow, please God. Bigger than, I believe it's going to be bigger than Intercall. I know please go mash up.
We as in the Grenadian people, right?
We as in Grenadian people,
right.
Not
nice.
Me talking about it. No, if MSC ever supposed to say Dr. Mitchell,
like the Dr. Challenge Trophy
championship here and there.
Yeah.
But we as in the Grenadian people, which is, I mean, honestly, it is a good thing. It shows the level or lack thereof of wisdom of the leader of the and the Principals Association. When I say the leader, speaking about Mr. Lloyd and Lewis, and his rebellion to put the interests of the children first, you know, and that's a problem. But I know tomorrow is going to turn out. It's going to turn out good, based on all indications. And I'm so happy to hear Minister Pierce said, as it relates to the SB, I think all should be in by now, because I think Tuesday, Thursday, all should be in by now. And she made some good points, you know, how, because she was saying she don't understand how a teacher, for example, can work with a student for all these long time and then don't mark their papers. It just does not make sense. So I'm wondering if it is possible that somebody can teach people like Mr. Lewis how to think positive and not everything you fight on, because, for example, if you don't like this person or you don't like that person, if something is good, you know? So I want the kids and the teachers that would be going to have a good day tomorrow. I won't be able to be there. I mean, even though you send me a ticket, I don't think I'll go reach in time. But I want all to have a good day. All right?
All right, bro.
Well, it's we sports as in the nation sports. So in that context is we thing, because it's a nation thing. Whatever happened to the youth belongs to us. Whether it be good or bad, we in it. We jamming.
Okay, brother.
All right. And then I was hearing, I'm running on. Person's been making comments about Mr. Killer and his music, but come on. I'm wondering if they think that the ministry is so incompetent. The ministry and the persons behind the machinery is so incompetent to have Mr. Killer sing some song that will make people misbehave in a kind of way. But anyhow, that's for another conversation. Have a good day.
All right, my friend. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, and they have been making issues about some of the artists who are going to be performing, I think it's during the halftime tomorrow. So they've been making an issue about how it's during Lent and you have to respect people's... If you're talking about respect, and this is the ignoramus aspect of the statement, if you're talking about respect other people's thing. Now, the thing is that not everybody celebrates Lent. I, for one, do not celebrate Lent. And there are many persons that do not celebrate Lent. What about respecting our beliefs? Yeah? We don't tell anybody do not celebrate Lent. We do not tell anybody how to eat, how to carry on, how to conduct their lives during this period of time. Yeah? And in the same instance, nobody has the right to dictate my actions during this period of time. I have a constitutional right, God-given right, to decide how I want to carry on during this period of time. That said, Dash was a performer for the Catholic Church pretty recently when they had a youth forum up there in a youth get-together up there in St. John. And I don't know, these are the same individuals. The same individuals you hear jumping on radio and going online now and attacking Mr. Killer are the same individuals who just a couple weeks ago was, oh gosh, look we boy, we in glee. Oh gosh, we love him so much. You love him so much and you're so in glee and you're so glad for him and you so love him, you so love him, you so love him. But they have the worst things to say, like if Mr. Killer is a demon. Like if you're sending children to go and see the devil tomorrow. All of a sudden, the same Mr. Killer, and that's to tell you the hypocrite nature of these individuals. They hypocrite. Because just a couple weeks ago, all of them, they went and they go everywhere they could find to watch, on the internet, anywhere they could find, to watch the Soca Monarch finals down there in Trinidad. Anywhere they could get to watch it. When he come, all of them running, Mr. Killer, oh gosh, Mr. Killer, Mr. Killer, Mr. Killer. And it's the same people asking, like Mr. Killer acting now, like Mr. Killer is some sort of negative influence on our nation's children.
I can't understand the way how we treat our own. Imagine our children is getting an opportunity, right, to be part, right, of a sport that is organized by the Ministry of Education, right, and one that was cancelled by the principal and so. Our children is getting an opportunity to see some of our best performance, right? Look, we just had the activity in Trinidad Carnival. We had 5 or 6 of our artists down there performing. Oh, I mean, this is a time when the children, I mean, they have to be part of this whole thing, you know. You can't leave them out. What is the issue of them being part of the secondary school games, right?
You see, there are people that are right now grasping at straws. And they can take, I mean, if you could take Terence Forrest and bring him as a feature speaker in your general council, you're grasping at straws. And they are grasping at straws. They are talking about respecting other people's opinion, respecting other people's religion. Yet still, if you hold a different opinion to the one that they have, they don't respect it. They go on all forums and they call people idiot, they call people all sorts of names. The bottom line is simply this. Yeah? The artists are going to perform. They are young Grenadians themselves. They have achieved things that others may. Dash, he has what? 3 or 4 groovy monarchs under his belt.
Yeah.
There are young persons there who may want to decide that, look, I want to follow in Dash footsteps. He's a member of the Royal Grenada Police Force. He's a member of the Royal Grenada Police Force band. You saying that Dash is a negative effect on the nation's children? Come on, man. Go and get a life. You should hide yourself inside a fridge somewhere. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, what is negative about having, 3 of our top artists entertaining the school trend of the nation?
Come on. What's negative about this?
It's that time again for partying. Start the thing to give me the leeway. Back and I'll start on the freeway. I'm feeling as if it's my B-day. Very unhealthy vibes and come alive. Because we give steady, yeah. And no pain, no flame. But the people demonstrate to come out to perform. Because we give steady, yeah.
So you're saying keep an artist with a tune like that away from our young people? Okay, they're saying keep Mr. Killer away. Let me see if Mr. Killer have anything positive.
Crumble unto the floor, the spears will fall. I've been made and sealed with love, but time to battle, I'll fight them all. I felt the whips and remember chains, but my sword has been forged by my father's flames. Fight your fears and heal your pain, and victory will be in your name.
I used to be weak, but I'm not weak no more. I found the strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be frightened, I'm not afraid no more.
And we have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Sheldon.
Hi.
Good morning, Devon.
Good morning.
How are you?
All right, not too bad.
I wonder when me Boca secondary tie day. I they bring it.
Boca.
Hello? Oh,
hello.
Lord, like she cut off?
Soon call again.
Sonia. What kind of thing is that?
Yeah. Chris, good morning. It's cold in London this morning. Wow. Chris, I know you wish you been in Grenada at this point in time to enjoy some breadfruit, some mango, and the secondary school games, carded for tomorrow. It starts at 9 a.m. in the morning. All right. Thousands of our school children will be there. Good morning and welcome.
What happened? The phone. The phone cut off.
Your phone acting like one of them hypocrite.
Pardon?
Your phone acting like one of them hypocrite. Just so you just...
No, then coffee break. So teaching colors usual, how it goes. So everybody doing? Good morning, Miss Brenda. You owe me 3 mangoes. Thank you very much. I'm Devon. Tell Miss Brenda she owe me a couple mangoes. Canada looking nice. We warming up and things.
How you could be warming up and you have thing around your neck?
Pardon, but it's still a little nippy, but it's not nothing heavy like when it's winter time. So yeah. Got to still, because you don't want to catch a draft. You have to take it down. You have to layer down, not full layer down, but you still have to take it lighter until.
That's good.
You just can't just say, okay, I'll say warming up and boom, you just go catch cold.
I was expecting to see you in the secondary school games. I mean, it's...
Never run for me. I never walk.
I see you running without opportunity.
Lord, I miss those days. Boca Secondary all the way.
Yeah, they actually
miss those days.
They actually did win a
Intercall
at once.
We had winner Intercall Girls champion one time.
That was back in the day.
Obviously, Sonia wasn't running at that point in time.
Yeah, you wasn't running, Sonia.
Me, Papa, can't run for me food. They could have jump up on the bleachers, and the bleachers would rock and sway, and it was so much fun. Yes.
and then Boca Secondary had an excellent coach at that point in time too.
Yes, Conrad
Francis,
yes.
Fresh from Cuba. And everything he was fresh from Cuba and everything like that. He had something to prove,
Yeah, them tend to be bad like Yaz.
But that's good.
He was an excellent coach.
Yeah, he still is. Boy, you know what? Boca will be part of the Southern Zone tomorrow, please the Lord. So, hey, they are still there. And
so how they're doing it, Devon, we could continue. So the Southern Zone compare the town schools, and then the East and West compare. That's how they're doing it?
Yes. What they did is that they divided into zones. You have the Southern Zone, the Southern Zone, which includes all the schools in St. George except for Harpeel Secondary School, which is part of the Western Zone.
Harpeel going on the Western Zone.
Yes. And then you have the Northern Zone, which is the Carriacou combined, as you say. All right. The Eastern Zone will include the St. Andrews contingents together with the St. David's Catholic Secondary School. Yeah, and then the Southern Zone, of course, will include St. Westall Secondary School. All right? So you will find, and all the schools are being represented with their athletes and so. So it will be a zonal thing, right? Vying for the trophy, the first trophy ever for the secondary school games. All right? Championship. That will be bragging rights. All right, so the only difference of it is that you will not have the individual schools participating for points, but it will be on a zonal basis.
Zone, it goes to zones, like the South Zone. If they win,
exactly.
Like all schools win.
All schools win. So in other words, the entire, Grenada wins when even one zone wins, because you have a combination of all the different schools in that particular zone. All right, so we look forward. Oh, yes.
And Sonia, before you leave, though, Conrad Francis is not doing too well these days.
No?
Yeah, I think he just had a little operation done and so on. So you want to send out some greetings to him. Get well soon.
Yes, Conrad Francis. Get well soon if you're listening.
Sonia, you want to know something?
Secondary.
I was in the ministry, right? I was the junior in the ministry. And when they told me Conrad was nearing retirement, I doubt them, Because when I watched Conrad, I just couldn't see it.
Yeah,
no, Conrad was
because he's young and looking good.
Yeah, but he retired now,
ready for retirement and he's fit.
Yeah. But he retired out of the service. But the thing is, I was watching Conrad and it's like, wait, no, Conrad, you're lying for me, man. What do you mean you're about to take 60? I just could not believe, because he was moving vibrant and everything, Conrad, up and down, and so, so I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, he's a really humble, Very respectable coach, and he did a lot for Boca Secondary when I was there.
Well, and not just for...
We loved him as...
Not just for Boca, but for the Northeast in St. George's. That entire...
Oh, yeah, because I know he's from Vendome. He's a Vendome from
Boca, yeah.
Vendome.
Yeah, Vendome. You know, so his presence and his participation in athletics and even football too, right? He played a great
because apparently he coached the soccer team also, I think.
Yeah.
For Boca Secondary, he was a games teacher and he was coaching everything.
Yeah, he was definitely an all-rounder. Yeah.
Yes. So big respect to Conrad Francis, and get well soon with whatever illness you're going through. And much love from the past student of Boca Secondary. Yes, my alma mater. Proud of being the grey and white.
All right, my dear. You have a wonderful day.
All right, you guys take care, Sheldon. Big up all your whole self. Hey, Mr. Killer say run with it. So South Zone, take it and run with it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Miguel.
All right.
All right, take care. All right.
Much love. Blessings.
All right. So just to remind folks too, it's going to be starting at 9 a.m. I think the entrance fee is 10.
I think so. Yes, 10 to enter, and so and what you don't have basically a program for the games, but I think most of the field events and so will be done in the morning period.
Everything will be completed by I think 3:30.
By 3.
Yeah, so it's starting at 9 and it should be completed by 3:30. Yeah. If the children and them say it could be completed by that point in time. Because, but as to, you never know. Next year, you may well have the intercall, which is one school against all the others. So each school is going up against all the others. And you could also have, at the same time, because the Principals Association may decide next year we want to do intercall. But I don't think it should be more sports the better for me. I don't mind.
Yeah, and
more
not just
sports.
that.
We have a stadium. Use it. The more sports, the
and
better.
more exposure for our young people.
Yeah,
you know.
But you must have that activity for the young people. That's the bottom line. You must have these sort of activities for young people, and not just for young people. There are elder people that on a yearly basis they make sure and they go out to the intercall games and they go out to the different sports, and so they enjoy that. That's part of their relaxation and their retirement, and so they head on out to these activities. All right? Nice, as Mimi and so on. Yes. And who are talking about?
There are persons, from the time that they entered secondary school, they have not missed an intercall game up to this day. You know, and you're talking about persons from since in the late 70s, 80s, early 80s, participating in intercall.
But again, Devon, hypocrisy. And you see, the thing is, people see through it, because I still fail to understand how you could be 1 minute you love Mr. Killer, and the thing is, it's like they're on a seesaw when it comes to Mr. Killer. Mr. Killer went to see Prime Minister Mitchell earlier this year. Was it earlier this year or late last year now? It's earlier this year, innit? It was in January. Went to see the Prime Minister to speak on various cultural matters. He is a cultural ambassador.
Yes, has been for a lot of years.
As such, as an artist, and an artist who is performing, representing the art form and Grenada around the world, be it out there in Germany, be it that he reach in Japan, be it that he go just next door in Trinidad or Barbados or St. Lucia and St. Vincent, different parts of the United States, over to California, back over to Washington, wherever, that he has been representing Grenada and the art form. There are things that he would pick up, things that he would learn, things that he would know, that he would believe, hey, I need to pass this on to the Prime Minister of the country and let him know. Or I need to pass this on to the Minister of Culture and let him know. That's what he was doing. So he met with the Prime Minister and he had a chat about some of the different things that he sees for the art form and that kind of thing. He put out a picture. These people lambaste him. And don't try to say that it didn't happen, because it's still online, where they attacked him and some of them said the nastiest things simply because he took a picture with the Prime Minister of the country. So they had the worst to say. He went out and he performed. So everybody in Trinidad, run with it. These same people started to jump back on the Killer bandwagon now. Oh, he's a Killer fan for how much years? Oh, we love Killer. Oh, Killer is this. Oh, Killer is that.
Twisted minds.
No, that he has to perform tomorrow. The same people that sing and run with it, the same people that make sure they watch the Soca Monarch, the same people that praising him and all this kind of thing for achieving something, that no other person, not only no other Grenadian, but no other person who has ever achieved, that being not being a Trinidadian and winning the Soca Monarch crown in Trinidad. The only human being in existence who has ever been in existence to do that is Hollis Mr. Killer Map out of Guavetown. And these individuals, they started to praise him. But tomorrow, when he has to go and sing for their children, all of a sudden they have a problem.
Another thing again, a couple weeks or a couple months ago, via Facebook, you had Mr. Killer, right, in a video clip, giving some thoughts, some real good words, advice for our children, right? The children of our nation, and so how for them to carry out themselves. And the same people who coming down on Mr. Killer now was giving him all sorts of props and so via Facebook. I mean, how hypocrite some of you guys
Hypocrite.
are. I mean, so he can't perform for the nation's children, right? Who have been barred and denied the premier activity for the year intercall. I mean, come on.
But Devon, you realize something as well, though. The same people that are getting on like that and saying all these things and acting in that way are the same individuals. They had no problem when Romain Virgo was there.
No, they had no problem
with that
at all.
But you realize in this instance, that argument that they are trying to put forward is a purely political one. When you see they go to the stage, they're talking about, and they've got rum selling there and all sorts of nonsense. It is a known fact that you don't ever sell alcohol at school activities.
Ever since, you know that.
Secondly, the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force are going to be out in their numbers at that activity tomorrow. So this nonsense about unsupervised. You all doing, like when high school and convent, Grenville and all of them go on the bleachers, like if it does have teachers in between, they sit down with them. Is the students just be there?
Exactly.
Is the students just be there? Does have the police officers up and around and down on the bottom side and so? But is the students that has been no teachers in between there with them?
Because most of the teachers, 90% of the teachers just be on the ground, right, attending to the ground staff and everything like that. So they don't be there. You find one teacher to every 10 or 20 students. No, it don't happen like that.
Look, Hannah is talking about the fact that Mr. Killer's tune was played in a very popular program, especially in North America and worldwide, Housewives of Atlanta. And it's, come on, it's something big for his tune to be played there. And some of these same people, on one thing, they're saying, congrats, Mr. Killer. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of him as a young Grenadian to achieve
and
this.
them being proud of to be a Grenadian too.
It's the same people picking up our phone and call now and say, you're no right to have him there. Come on, man, make up all your mind. You see, it's the hypocrisy. And the hypocrisy goes across the board when it comes to that political organization called the National Democratic Congress.
Twisted minds,
boy, them mind twist up more than rope. Twisted minds indeed. And we're talking about the executive here, not the rank and file members. No. Because when you look at, for instance, Peter David, expelled by the NDC, so he's not in any political party, he was expelled by the NDC, decides, I still want to contribute to my country. I'm going to join with the new National Party because when I look at them, when I see their vision, when I see the direction that they want to take the country, I agree with it. So I'll join with the new National Party. And several other persons made the same decision as well. People that you all expelled and some people that decide, too much stupidness there, I will move. And they came over to the new National Party. Since then, up to this day, you all have been calling them all sorts of derogatory names. All sorts of derogatory names. Up to this day, you all call them traitors and all sorts of things. You all throw them out and they joined another organization and you call them sellout. Have you heard the new National Party once call Terence Forrester a traitor? Have you heard us ever once call him a sellout? You will not hear that. Because he's made a decision, he no longer wants to be associated with the new National Party. But you know, in your heart of hearts, you know how to bank are taking you, Terry. But he made a decision and decided he go in. Well, good riddance, you want to go? Right? So he's gone. And he's decided now, it seems as he's joined up with the NDC.
Yeah.
Because if you're speaking at the General Council, it's not to say that you're from another country, so you don't hold no political card here in Grenada. Yeah? Or maybe he's trying to merge his one-man party together with the NDC.
And which is good for him. You go, Terry. I mean, you are Grenadian. It's your democratic right.
To go where you want to go.
To go where you want to go and be part of any organization you want to be part of.
None of us is saying that you shouldn't join.
No.
None of us is saying that you shouldn't.
Who is me and you to tell people what to do and where to go? We don't have that right.
Because Grenada is one of the... Watch. Grenada is the best country on it. Not one of the... It is the best country on it. You know, watch. You know how nice Grenada is? You ever heard of the name Robert Downey Jr.? You ever heard that name?
Yeah.
You know what he does act as? You don't follow them cartoons. Them children could tell you. You know Iron Man? Iron Man in the Avengers and this kind of thing, the cartoons and thing, right? He does act as Iron Man. You know he was here in Grenada this week?
Oh, well, I heard you talk about a particular...
Yeah, he was in Grenada this week. The man was up and down town walking. And you know, well, who noticed him, and most people don't notice him and that kind of thing. But the man was here. In fact, he might still even be here. But he was here. And he was up and down town as normal. You think he could do that in like you said, Trinidad?
Not easy.
You feel he could do that in Barbados? You feel he could do that? Because Grenadians and the way that we are very nice, calm, collective people. So the man come and the man moving simple, up and down the place and all kind of thing. Because, and he's not the only one. You have many other megastars, and right now, this man is like the #1 star out of Hollywood right now. He's the top paid actor in Hollywood right now. And he came in Grenada and he could have moved about normal and everything, and people notice who he is. And just, yeah,
and you know,
that's Iron Man. All right, cool.
And you know, he would appreciate that. Very soon, too, you may hear him investing in Grenada big time.
Boy, when them men and them see this place and they realize how nice
how they can
is.
move about and mingle with the people and everything. That's what they want, you know.
Yeah.
Peace and quiet, you know, to relax, to enjoy, you know, they hard-earned money that they, you know,
yes,
that they so fight for.
Yes, Hannah, really. Yeah, and I mean, that's just to tell you that Grenada is the kind of place that, you know, we nice, we calm, we cool, we relaxed. So the man could have come nice, cool, calm, relaxed, and he could move about, and nobody in harass him.
Nobody.
He had to worry about no paparazzi, no set of fellas come with camera and, oh, hey, Mr. and trying to take a picture, and no set of people running him down, and he can't walk anywhere because you have about 50 people walking behind
autograph,
you.
Give me an autograph, and this and that. I mean,
yeah, the man love it. Yeah, the man come here and he love it. But we have we own people who go in online and try to make we country look bad.
Who go in on the radio and say all sort of derogatory things about Grenada and its people. And they happen to be Grenadians too, you know. They happen to be Grenadians, and imagine that they are not looking in the mirror.
And he's not the only one. There are many other people that come to Grenada. I'm talking about these big Hollywood actors and all kind of thing, and they come Grenada and they walk about the place and they lime and they hang about and all kind of thing. Who know? The girls in the spice market and thing could tell you, because sometimes they recognize who that one is, like John Malkovich and all these guys, and they would take a picture with them. And these guys come and they're nice and they relax and they go on about their business and they go back with positive reviews about Grenada. It's a nice place. It's cool, it's calm, you don't be hassled and that kind of thing. Yeah? And it's extremely safe and friendly. But when you listen to certain people online give an impression of Grenada, you would swear
you're living in hell.
I can't understand.
But you know what?
And you know the way that we treat our own sometimes.
Oh,
because look
God.
at it. Look at Hollis map. Look at it. The way that we treat our own. That is achievement. And now you have people going on radio, including Dum Dum, who just happens to be from St. John, going on radio and trying to give the impression like if Hollis is the devil, or if Dash is the devil.
And negative influence on our young people. So what? You don't want our young people to enjoy part of our stars? You want them to idealize other, celebrities? We have celebrities right here.
Yeah,
let our children be part of it.
Patricia is saying Oprah was on Granan's Beach on that tree with her friend. No one noticed.
Yeah.
Not only no one noticed, sometimes we just notice, but we don't care.
Yeah, we don't think
it's like, okay,
might just pass, hi Oprah, and go on.
Somebody see them and they say, oh, that's Oprah?
Yeah, that's Oprah, yeah. She looking good.
I thought she was taller than that.
Exactly, you understand? Hey, and we move along with business.
A few weeks ago, we were here, Clint Eastwood.
And that's a regular.
Clint Eastwood and one or two others. And Clint Eastwood was here liming in a bar and kind of thing. It's like, These guys just know Grenada is a nice place to come and hang out.
Yeah.
They come and they hang out in Grenada and they lime and think they know Grenada is safe. We have that image out there. But you have people here that are trying to destroy our image. Yeah? The world's richest man, or one of the world's richest man, I think he get bumped out the position, Bill Gates.
Yeah,
Bill Gates,
Amazon guy having busy.
Always down here. And these guys just can't be bothered.
Yeah, that's how, you see, Grenada is a beautiful place. Look at how we enjoy our country. Peaceful and everything like that. That is what they want. They want to know when they visit a country that they feel free to do what they want within the law.
Rather than ask Iron Man for autograph, we could tell him, hey, we have some oil long on the fire.
Yes.
Or some.
Come on, eat some of that now.
And give him a bowlie.
And he don't have to pay nothing.
We gave him a bowlie and put him sit down and tell him.
Exactly. You know?
So that's just the type of people that we are. Grenada is that type of country. And I think lots of times we tend to not realize what we have. That these individuals could come here and don't have to bring the entire retinue of security that they have to travel with when they're in other places. They can't do that in Jamaica, you know. They can't do that in Jamaica. They can't do that in nearly any other Caribbean island that I could think of. They can't do what they just do.
Even some of them, even in their country, their home state.
Well, forget that.
Yeah, they can't. You know, they have to have bodyguards. I mean, all sorts of things. Come on, man. Grenada is sweet. And our
fellas
people.
Close to 7 feet and how much 100 pounds of muscle.
You understand? And not only that, we have one of the most professional police force in the Caribbean.
Dali is saying she didn't realize that Mr. David was expelled.
Oh, Dali?
Not only was Mr. David expelled,
and 10 others.
Were expelled at the same time.
Yes.
I can't remember all, in fact, but it was Glennis Roberts, Peter David, Glennis Roberts, Carl Hood, Joseph Gilbert, Ali Gill, Chester Humphrey,
Stanford Simon. I think it was Fullerton.
Stanford Simon was the chairman at the point in time. Kenrick Fullerton.
Kenrick Fullerton. Maybe one or two others.
There were some others.
And so, well, I missed it because I resigned just a couple of days before, so I missed it. You know,
but that was like the frontliners. But it was a massacre.
It was a modern day massacre.
Yeah, it was a massacre. You see how that turned out for them.
See how that one turned out for them. You understand?
Michael Church.
And
he was already out.
No, he was not.
Officially
he was still officially a member. He was expelled. And what is interesting though, it was taken to court by one Mr. Carl Hood and won. So what they did was illegal up to this day. It is illegal. What they did by expelling all these persons and so for no reason, and there are persons who they still owe. So
well, they expel and they forget how to spell. So right now they can't spell seat.
It.
They can't spell seat.
It.
They can't spell seat at all. They spell seat S-I-T.
Yeah.
They can't spell seat. Yeah.
But you know, back on thing, the negativity that most of them, I mean, for the last couple of days, I heard them from Godfrey, from persons like Godfrey and Doom and others on their program coming down, right, on an initiative put together by the Ministry of Education and Sports, right, to have our children enjoy themselves on a day, right? A deserving day for them. I mean, how can you people be so hypocrite and worthless when it comes to our children?
I find that song, they too hypocrite, there's the two
hypocrite,
there's the two hippo. Yeah, I'll find that song, you know.
I mean, come on, man. It's amazing.
So $10 for adults, kids free tomorrow, children free. We don't like to say kids, children free tomorrow.
Children free tomorrow.
And $10 for adults tomorrow. You only go on in the stadium and watch TV.
And it starts at 9. Go there and support the future athletic stars of our country, right? I mean, intercall is not the only sport that dictates where our children go when it comes to athletics. It's only one of the forums that they showcase, one of the premier, the secondary school sports this year is one of them, right? And we have to get our children to participate, go out and support the athletes, be part of history. Don't miss that. And for those of you who continue, right, to discourage our children. You are basically telling our children not to be a part of history. You are telling our children not to be a part of something that is good for them.
But the bottom line is this. It will be happening tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And we're waiting to see which zone going to come out on top. So will it be the Western Zone, St. Rose Modern Secondary School, the which one? What are the other ones in the Western Zone? The Happy Hill Secondary School,
right? St. Rose, right. You have
St. Mark's Secondary,
St. Mark's, and you have Shepa. That's what's Shepa School. That's what the name of it. St. John's Christian Secondary, right?
And then you have up the road there in St. Patrick,
McDonald College, right? And the next one, the SDA.
Okay, the
Mount
school.
Rose SDA School.
Mount Rose SDA.
Yeah, it's part of the Western Zone.
So that's the Western Zone, right? And then on the Eastern Zone,
you have Zone now, you have SAS,
GSS.
You have GSS. You have St. Joseph Convent Grenville,
Grenada Christian Academy.
Grenada Christian Academy. That's it.
St. David
Secondary School, right?
The Southern Zone, you have Wester Hall Secondary,
you have
GBSS.
Yes, you have the
Anglican High School,
and another school right there,
that's the J.W. Fletcher Memorial.
Right? You have Boca Secondary, right? St. Joseph Convent, St. George's.
Wesley College.
You have Wesley College, and
you have there's a school
is
Presentation Brothers College.
Is Westmoreland taking part?
Westmoreland? That's I'm not
too sure because I know they had their
usually
own
they
private
participate in
the
intercall and so on.
Yeah.
So maybe they are.
Maybe they may be part of the whole southern zone.
I think they would add something to it.
Yeah,
remember just the other day they won the 100 meter with that young chap. His name is eluding me right now, but he was practicing just in the back there. He was practicing just on the hard tarmac
and the concrete, the junior.
And he go and he lick up the thing.
Guy.
But
Yeah,
he go and he lick up the, I don't think he's in the school still.
No, I think he's in National College. I think
he's gone from the school.
Yeah.
But you have that aspect of it. Yeah, so you have the different zones. You have the Northern Zone, Bishop's College and Hillsborough Secondary. Yeah, coming down combined as the Northern Zone.
That's it. That's it. They want.
You could very well have a possibility in the future of, if they find the sponsorship, you can have the Principals Association coming back with the intercall games. But along with the intercall games, you also have
secondary school.
And you never know, because you could end up with a situation where the intercall games happens a little earlier, and the athletes that come out of the intercall games would qualify into zones for the national secondary school sports. You could very well find you have both of them, and I see nothing wrong with having the two if it comes to that. But don't stop the national secondary school sports.
No, don't stop. Or another wild idea though. May have some objections. If it's a norm now, because the third year running that we continue to have the invitationals, we can just include the secondary school sports as part
of the
invitationals. Make it much more grand, and it's
remember as it's happening as a school activity by the Ministry of Education. It's happening during school time. The invitations take place on a Saturday, which is outside of the school time. So you may still end up in the problem, if not next year, but you may end up in a problem in the future again, where there's some sort of industrial action for whatever reason, and they decide, okay, we're pulling out. You don't ever want to end up in a situation where industrial action is going to affect something like this again. Yeah? And again, I mean, LL and them, I wonder if LL going and hand out trophy tomorrow. Minister, I hope you invite LL as,
of course, as
president
of
Teachers Association to come and hand out
medals and so on.
Invite him, let's see if he will come.
Yeah, I think he will. Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
But he tell them teachers and them don't go, so if he go.
While the Minister of Education was to post cabinet briefing on Tuesday, she made a statement, Sheldon, concerning the day tomorrow, right? What the day is tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, I heard her say that for tomorrow, regular school day has been suspended to accommodate the sports. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, my friend.
Good morning to you, Mr. Scott.
Morning, sir.
And good morning to your listening audience. Well, honestly speaking, the fact that today is just is the day before our secondary school sports, I am a little bit, not a little bit, I am a lot easy on LL. Because in the last couple of days, LL have just lost his brother. So as a result of that, you know, my sympathy goes out to LL and his family. And I'm expressing that sentiment because my other half is also LL family. So my sympathy goes out to LL. So today, and maybe until further notice, LL, you have my sympathy to you and your family, and I will not be commenting on some of the present issues at hand. But Devon, let me deal with you first. Mr. Scott, you might be saying, well, why this man dealing with Devon so much on a regular basis over the last couple of days? I have to. Devon, I have to rehash that statement all the time. Both of us, as former committed and dedicated supporters and members of the NDC, presently speaking, what do you believe make the NDC breadfruit so low that we don't need no cocoa knife to juke it down?
They plant it after Ivan.
You know,
you want me to give another example? It's not
Yes,
the breadfruit so low you don't need coconut to juke it down.
You could just pick it?
No, is that it's so low that they have to drill up to get oil.
All right.
Is that it's so low that they need a coconut to pick pumpkin.
Oh, God. Listen, I mean, let me be brief here. After the revolution fell apart as a result of bad attitude by people who was placed in position of authority that did not realize what it was all about. Now, Devon, are you surprised that the NDC have deteriorated from a hero to a zero?
Well, no, I'm not surprised at all because, I mean, when you look at what they have done to their own, see, they like rabbits and some of the animals. They make the young ones and they try or sometimes eat the young.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Listen, whenever people start to pelt rocks at me, I'm telling them, look, I'm secure at the hospital. My name is not Devon Romain. No, listen to this. You call the Catholic and the Anglican and the rest of the different denominations anus lickers. Now, I'm not going to say what anus is. I will leave that up to you all to let your listening audience know what it is. The NDC and the activists and the Daily Talk Show have said these people are anus lickers of the NNP. You know what surprised me, gentlemen? Today, the same people that castigate and call Christians and churchgoers in this country the most untidy and ridiculous and the most indecent names today, do you know they come in and talking about Lent? I don't understand it. No, here. The issue with Mr. Killer and others is not isolated. They have caused the following. They caused the IMF, the World Bank, the European Union, the ECCB, the CDB, the Moody Group, Standard & Poor's. You know why? So, guys, They cost all of these reputable institutions just because what these folks have stated is in support of the government. Just because. Now, here, listen to this here. Under the NNP, so, no, let me do, I don't want to lose my trend of thought. Here what they cannot stand. Under the NNP, the economy have grown by 5%. Under the NNP, unemployment is down. And listen, Mr. Scott and Mr. Romain, unemployment is down. Yes, it may not be done by the kind of percentage, that has the majority of people working, but it is done. Under the NNP, Grenada creditworthiness is positive. Now, what I'm stating here, under the former administration, which was the NDC, all of that was negative. Under the NNP, Grenada creditworthiness is positive. Under the NNP, we are meeting our monthly commitment and obligation. Under the NNP, youth unemployment is lower. Under the NNP, we have paid over $100 million in public servants' benefits. Under the NNP, we have hired over 300 teachers, make them permanent. Under the NNP, public servants have received more benefits than under any other government. Mr. Scott and Mr. Romain, my question is, what is the marker that NDC supporters use for judging a government? This is what I'm asking. Because if what I have stated here, it is a fact, and it is factual, I'm trying to figure out what is the standard, for judging a government. And Mr. Scott, as I wrap up here, do you know in the Northwest constituency in St. Andrews, I say our beloved brother, Mr. Philip Alexander, because we was fighting the same fight from the same angle at one point. Do you know that he is under a lot of pressure now for being the representative of the NDC for the Northwest constituency in St. Andrews? The point I'm making here is that by the time the NDC finish this internal struggle in terms of who going to represent them or who they will choose to represent them in the Northwest constituency in St. Andrews, they would run out of gas. And as a result of that, the people in the Northwest constituency, based on what has been delivered to them, they will have no other choice but to re-elect Sister Delma Thomas as the individual that will represent them in the future. Because, let me wrap here, I apologize for that. Mr. Scott, right now, and Mr. Romain, the battle, the fight is on within different NDC individuals in terms of who they want to represent them in the Northwest constituency in St. Andrews, despite the fact it is a losing experiment. Because, mark my words, just give me 2 seconds, mark my words, I told you all that before the last election, that there is nobody that can beat Mrs. Delma Thomas in the Northwest constituency in the foreseeable future. And let me go out on a limb all by myself. And whenever, if this is the correct word, whenever she chooses to demit or leave or no longer choose to represent the Northwest constituency in St. Andrews, I can tell you the NNP will have a very hard time not selecting, not electing, or not putting her son, who is presently in SGU.
How did I know that was coming?
As the representative for the Northwest constituency. You know why? Because this gentleman, as a only 20-something-year-old, there is no other 20-something-year-old in the Northwest constituency that have done more and that have made the necessary sacrifices to ensure that his mother get elected. And when the time comes, Mr. Scott and Mr. Romain, this gentleman will have our full support. And even if the NNP decided to choose somebody else, they will have a big fight on their hand, because at the end of the day, the only gentleman that can win this constituency after Sister Delma Thomas will be her son. I won't call his name, but you all know the people in the constituency, the youth in the constituency will know who I'm talking about. Gentlemen, I hope I did not. I hope I make sense in terms of what I'm saying here this morning, and I trust you all will have a pleasant day.
Thank you very much. Me only want to go and play trouble. Let me say a very special good morning, first of all, to Miss Helen Murray. Yeah, yes. Hope that you're
wonderfully.
Yeah, hope that you're going okay today. Eh? All right, Miss Helen Murray. Hope everything is okay. Nice. All right. Yeah. Yeah, you were saying something about
No, I'm just saying. There's so much young, vibrant, right, dedicated. I mean, leaders within the different constituencies at this point in time. I mean, NNP as a party for the future, man. Ooh. It's there. Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Hello, Devon, Sheldon, good morning.
Good morning, my friend.
Today is NIS Day. And I listened to a program this morning. And there is some people on the island I don't know. No, I'm a pensioner. I've been getting pension now for a long time. And what I have to say is that the amount of money I've drawn from NIS already, I haven't put in half, a quarter. In 5 years' time in the NIS, you get back all the contribution you make. That's how it is. And just now I'll be 70 years. I'm working. I'm big and healthy and strong. I know a lot of people around me that is getting NIS and it's working. They're being healthy. So for people come in and say the years should drop and people dying out younger today, it's, well, you pass around the gym around Grenada, it's filled. People trying to eat, you go to the people that the herbalists and them, they have a lot of customers. People don't hardly want to go to the doctor to get the next thing they do, a lot of herbs. So there's a lot of people that would live a long time in Grenada. And increasing the years, I see it is a plus because every day people is going into pension. Every single day. And if they doesn't do that, the money will run out because, as I said, in 5 years' time, you get back all the money you donate for this 20-something years, 30-something years. Thank you.
All right, my friend. Thank you. You know, a very interesting thought, though, is that some persons don't realize the multitude, so many things that NIS, right? When your contribution is made to NIS, so many things, right, that NIS has to take care of with that small contribution. You understand? And they have to do it because imagine from health, right, doctor bills to all injuries, all sorts of other things that they are responsible for while you are working. And so all these things must be taken into consideration. And so why it is important to have NIS not just stagnant, right, but continue to grow. And one way we can do that is to ensure that our contributions are increased, right, and the age for retirement also increase. And I'm supporting that
because
fully.
Folks, remember as well, what you're contributing to NIS right now is not what you're going to be getting from NIS when your retirement comes. Yeah? You're going to be getting sometimes 50 times, 100 times. It's going to be a lot more than what you're contributing right now to the NIS is what you're going to be getting on a monthly basis. If you're paying, I mean, come on, you're paying $40 or something, and then every month when you retire, you're going to be receiving somewhere in the region of what, a couple hundred, a couple thousand dollars. And so according to the amount that you're giving, the money has to be invested.
Also,
the money has to be grown.
Yeah.
You have to plant that seed and grow it.
And then the benefits for our children. You understand? I mean, those who pay in NIS, and so the benefits that our children have as a result of that. We need to take all of these things into consideration. And so to ensure that, I mean, we have a solid, viable plan to take us into the next 50 or 60 years. You know?
Because I think over this week, in our discussions with the NIS, a lot of people have gotten a clearer understanding of how the NIS operates and what the NIS really means for you. So it has silenced a lot of the nonsense out there. In fact, the only persons that you've been hearing with that are, one, people who haven't heard what we've been saying yet, or others haven't told them yet what we've been saying, which is the truth in relation to the NIS, or they have a totally political agenda in relation to this issue. And this isn't a political issue. No, this is an issue that has to look at our elderly when the time comes. How these people are addressed, how these people are going to move forward, how these people survive. So there's several areas, several things that have to be looked at.
Because the next thing, we talk about LA, let's talk about our young people, as I was stating. I mean, God forbid that you have parents who are paying NIS for a number of years, and God forbid they have been, taken away from their children. And so that is where, and once their children is under a particular age, they're going to school and everything, NIS steps in and pays, ensure that the education of these children continues, right? These are things that we must not forget and we must be mindful of, right? Your entire family, right, is being covered, especially your children, right, is being covered when it comes to, I mean, their education in case anything happened to you, right? I mean, I don't know, we just...
Devon, before we run out of time today, there's an issue I keep hearing coming up over and over again. And it is an issue that I had to address, but I keep forgetting when we're on air to address it. It's off of what we're talking about right now. But I think it's important for me to address that particular one and let people know the truth of the matter in relation to this one. I've heard Miss Claudette Joseph on several occasions made the claim that people who have gained Grenadian passports through the Grenadian Citizenship Program, the CBI program, are voted in the last elections or are being allowed to vote. That is totally untrue. Let me say it again. That is totally untrue. If Ms. Joseph would take her time and read the legislation, and I'm very sorry, I remembered it now, but I don't have a copy of the legislation in front of me. But I do remember specifically when we were reintroducing the Grenada Citizenship Program, Citizenship by Investment Program, when we were reintroducing that there was a specific clause in there that stated that individuals who gain a passport, economic citizenship of Grenada, are not allowed to vote in Grenadian elections. If she has information that proves otherwise, come forward with it. Otherwise, read the law and tell people what the law really says.
She happens to be a lawyer, yeah?
Yeah, but that's why I'm naming her specifics. It's come across other places. I've heard one or two other people say it, but I realize it's a statement that she continues to make over and over and over. I'm giving the impression that an individual who is an economic citizen of Grenada. They have gained citizenship through economic means. So they are economic citizenship. And I'm hearing questions being asked about what happens with the money. Number one, when a person applies, first of all, when an individual applies for economic citizenship of Grenada, when they apply for that program, the initial money they pay is non-refundable.
Yeah.
So it's not a situation like they pay that money and if they don't get through, they get back their money or that kind of thing. The money they pay is non-refundable. And that ensures that persons who believe that they won't qualify wouldn't try in the first place. Secondly, after they paid that money, you go through the United States officials in the territory that that individual comes from, Interpol and so and other organizations. They go through to verify that that person is a safe person. To consider, at that point in time, not give her, to consider for economic citizenship and so. And if the person is found to be a proper person, then they would consider giving that person, and that time the person don't pay money into the program already. The law is available. She can read it. No individual who is under that program is allowed to be registered or vote in a Grenada election. If she's found differently, she's all welcome to go to the electoral office and make a complaint or whatever it is, or even take out a legal matter in relation to it. But people who are economic citizens do not qualify to vote in Grenadian elections. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about anybody gaining citizenship through the economic citizenship program and voting. All right? Nice. And it says specifically that the person has gained citizenship through the CBI program or the economic citizenship program. It says that specifically on their passport. Just thought I should let people know that one. Because I've been hearing it coming up again and again.
Yeah, nobody responding to it. And so. And that is some of the things that they get away with. For example, I know tonight she will be on a regular program tonight, coming down as usual, trying to discourage our children.
Might be she or might be other people, but she has children.
Well,
asking a straight question, does Claudette Joseph have children?
I can't say. I've never heard her talk about a baby or a son or a daughter or something. I've never, I mean...
But she encouraging people not to send their children?
Not to send their children to the secondary school sports. You know, a lot of them...
I have children.
A lot of them who don't have children, right? And so are doing that, you know. A lot of them, I listen to them on the radio. And so
it's have people that have no children and love children and loving and so on. And we try their very best to help as many children as possible and that kind of thing.
You have some of us.
But when you hear those kind of statements from certain people, that's all I have to say. We have a call.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Just for that I come back. Sheldon Scott was talking about that citizenship. On Sunday gone, I listened to a program on one of the television stations with a famous journalist. Grenadians, he was saying Grenadians selling diplomatic passports to these people. And that is true?
Grenada,
Sheldon?
I'll address it immediately. Grenada does not sell diplomatic passports. Because you can't sell diplomatic programs under such a program. It's absolutely nonsense, ludicrous, and untrue. Grenada does not. It's been addressed.
I want to call it the.
Okay, I understand.
The program was the Caribbean program, and he was on. I want to call his name, but he was on saying that, and with some other people saying the Caribbean selling diplomatic passports and Grenada, and they was in Grenada is one. Grenadian is one. I find out was very funny and shocking to hear. Okay then.
All right, my brother.
My friend.
Grenada does not sell diplomatic passports. That is untrue. Yeah. That question has been asked. That question has been asked even when I was in Parliament. That question has been answered on numerous occasions by the government. I don't know how much. Maybe we need to say it in Chinese or Cantonese, or maybe we need to say it in Hindi or Gujarati or some kind of language also before these individuals understand that Grenada does not sell diplomatic passports. The Grenada Economic Citizenship Program does not sell diplomatic passports.
And it is one of the most stringent, strict, right? I mean, procedures you have to go through to earn citizen by investment in Grenada.
In fact, one individual was here recently, met with Prime Minister Mitchell, and was praising Grenada for its anti-corruption and all of these things. Because one of the first legislations that went to Parliament under the Dr. Keith Mitchell-led NNP administration in 2013 was the Anti-Corruption and Integrity in Public Life legislation. As I said, I could go to my car now, look in my documents and pull out my document from the Integrity Commission where I declared what assets I have and also those I don't have. You had to declare I don't have that. Yeah, so I declared my assets, as in keeping with the law. But those who speaking about integrity and all sort of thing, they never declare anything, you know. They never declare anything.
They like Trump. They like Donald Trump.
Yeah. You're talking about who have this and who have that. They ever tell you what they have?
You can't know what they have at all.
You ever realize that we're talking about Dr. Mitchell? And this Dr. Mitchell came out to the general public and he said straight, this is what I have. Because he don't want to hide it. He didn't thief nobody thing. That is his from years of work. And we're not even talking about years of work as Prime Minister. And that is from years of work even before as a university professor and so on. And making sure that he made the right choices. And that is why he's able to come to the Grenadian people and say, this is what I have. But those who say, oh, you have this, you have that, why they don't declare their assets? Why they don't come and tell you what they have?
They have too much.
You might be surprised to find out that they're making Bill Gates look small.
Yeah.
Some of
Bill
them.
Gates and Amazon boss.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Anyway, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today, folks. Remember, the secondary school sports, it takes place tomorrow.
Starts at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. So let the young people enjoy themselves.
And support them.
Yeah.
Be a part
Healthy
with them.
activity. All right? So you look forward to that one, folks. That's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here with you. And anything you say and do it safe and secure. One of you speaking to and with you.
Not about you.
We are out.
These walls are bound to crumble, and to the floor their spears will fall. I've been made and sealed with love, but time to battle, I'll find them all. I felt the whips and remember chains, but my sword has been forged by my father's flames. Fight your fears and heal your pain, and victory will be in your name.
I used to be weak, but I'm not weak no more. I found the strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be frightened, I'm not afraid no more. The Father blessed me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail, and no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my blade. Fire burn all Satan carrier.
4 weeks of preliminary qualifiers. After 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this one incredible day of exciting track and field action. It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Carriacou James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games.
The demand by teachers across the region for payment for correcting SBAs has been simmering under the surface for years now. In the latest development, some of the region's teachers are threatening not to correct the SBAs if there's no promise of payment by CXC. The August regional body faces its stiffest challenge in its 4 decades existence. The former registrar and chief executive officer of CXC, Dr. Didicus Jules, says CXC can ill afford to make this payment and, if forced so to do, will have to pass on the additional cost to the students.
No, I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed because the issue of payment for marking exams in general arose when I was registrar of CXC. And one of the first things I had done was to go to council asking for a significant increase in the subventions paid to CXC in order to pay markers much more, because there had been no increase for the preceding 25 years. So we felt that it was necessary to ensure that markers were given, more significant compensation for their marking.
During his tenure at the helm of CXC, Dr. Jules says he and the man who currently occupies his former seat tried desperately to address that concern.
The SBA from its inception was one of the most far-sighted things that the CXC could have done that distinguished it from Cambridge. Because as you know, just let's speak conceptually. First of all, the SBA is an opportunity to for students to apply the knowledge in whatever subject that they are doing to real life and to show the application of knowledge. That's one dimension. The second important dimension is that it is an opportunity for the teacher, the classroom teacher, who has interacted with the students throughout the year, to have a significant input into the grading, whatever is the final grade of their students, and therefore not just rely on a 2 or 3 hour exam, do or die.
The Caribbean Examination Council has held firm to the view that school-based assessment is part of the normal classroom duties for teachers, and they should therefore not be paid any additional amount for assessing the SBAs.
It's very unfortunate because I think in some ways, this is a debate that is focused on the money, and the SBAs it's not a monetary thing. Neither was it meant to be an imposition on teachers that would, unduly tie up their time and create extra effort. All of that was supposed to be fitted within the ambit of the work that they do in their classrooms, and to give value to that in awarding final grades to students.
The Caribbean Examination Council is one of the region's outstanding successes, with passes in CXC subjects accepted for registering for post-secondary courses in the Caribbean, the United Kingdom, India, the United States, and other places. CXC, because of its use of innovation and its credibility, is considered a model in many far-flung regions of the world. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.
Four special committees established to support management of Grenada's education system. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, April 3rd, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. 4 committees have been established to assist and support the management of Grenada's education system. During the weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday, Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, the Honorable Emmeline Pear, said the committees will focus on school management, values-based education, special intervention and support, and school inspection.
1, to do with school management. 2, values-based education, and you've heard me speak about the issue of spiritual development in the life of students, but we want to broaden that to specifically look at values-based education and the implication, the impact that that can have on the all-round development of any student. Special intervention and support, and in that particular committee, we are looking at some special case schools that urgent intervention is required, and we have started that. And the 4th area, school inspection. Now, many of you might be well aware that we do have school operating in some locations that are not suitable. And so the Education Act speaks about continuous school inspection. And while this has not been done formally because of the magnitude of that particular responsibility, we see it as absolutely necessary to find a way to get that done. We've established a special committee. We intend to engage additional persons to get it done, because if you're going to use the regular education officers, the regular health officers in the system, obviously there would not be much movement there. So we are seriously pursuing a new plan for the inspection of schools, and that is to begin within the next coming months.
We're just 2 days away from what promises to be an exciting athletic action at the National Stadium when athletes with the 2 best times from each zone in each category meet at the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium on Friday to compete for the inaugural championship trophy in the National Secondary School Sports. Assistant Coordinator for Sports, Curlin Peters, who was a guest on the GIS Spice Morning program this week, says they are even seeking to facilitate the athletes who did not make it to the Carriacou team.
You know, when you start something, it's a little shaky. The turnout in St. George's was a little poor.
So that is really concerning about the selection
that's really
of that
concerning
team.
in some of the events, especially with the female. But what we have done to help some of the athletes, that you can remember that around that time there was, speaking about they had to compete at the national trials for Carriacou.
Okay.
So now most of them now calling, so we don't get shown the Carriacou team and we want to compete together. So what we have done to assist them in that form, we have open the relays.
Okay.
So you could select the zone, have the permission to select the relay teams from people within the zone.
Okay.
So some of the athletes that are good and didn't get an opportunity to compete, they will be able to come in with
placement.
Placement on the relay team. But when we met with the coaches this week, like they start saying, well, we're gonna win that. They start checking.
Okay, right. Who they have and so.
Who they have and who they. So I think it's really charged up to have a good competition, and it shows for the future of the event, because I know for the next year and the following years, because that is not the stop.
Okay, it will continue.
It will be much more exciting. I think everybody will be on board from day one.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
After 4 weeks of preliminary qualifiers, after 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this one incredible day of exciting track and field action. Come on! It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Carriacou James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games.
Continuing the news, with greater community involvement can come a better visitor experience. That was the focus of the second consultation involving Ministry of Tourism, representatives from the Tourism Authority and other players in the industry as they seek to increase visitor numbers so that more will be spending. As part of the process, an e-forum will be created for tour operators to interact with communities, which will in turn create the products that visitors want. Consultant Dr. Oliana Poo Cameroon has been in dialogue with Grenada's tourism minister for the last 3 years on ways to create benefits for tourism working with communities.
And fully benefiting is not only about more customers, but customers actually spending more. And the key word here is experiences. It's not just about a product, it's not just a service, but it's a fantastic experience that people find memorable and they can take away, and they want to come over and over again, and they want hundreds of people to come to Grenada, to visit Grenada, because they had such a brilliant experience. And at the end of the day, Grenadians and communities need to feel tourism in their pockets and on their tables.
Tourism Minister Dr. Clarice Modeste Kerwin agrees that visitors need much more than attraction sites to be able to boast of the ultimate experience. She says it is important to find the right mix, especially since the sector has the potential to grow bigger with the recognition Grenada has been receiving through sports and culture.
It is very important that tourism is seen or felt to be everybody's business and not just have it deemed as a statement that we in the industry make. So we have the beautiful Grand Anse Beach, we have Grand Etang and so on, but in every community there's something special, something unique that we can build around it to make it a tourism attraction or a tourism activity that people can pleasure themselves in. And everywhere you go, Grenada is blessed with something that we can do. And unless the community sees a little bit more of the tourism dollars trickling down their way, then we cannot truly say that tourism is everybody's business.
Mrs. Brenda Hood, advisor to the Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation, says community involvement for a memorable experience means hearing from people in the communities on how they see themselves benefiting financially.
There's so much to offer. I mean, the experiences that the tourists are looking for these days, we have a lot to offer, and therefore we need to look at what we have. We need to package it in a way that when people come to Grenada, they can say, wow, we had a great experience, and the rest of the region can look at Grenada as an example. As you can tell, the industry is improving from day to day, but at the same time, we want the experiences to improve, and we want the people to benefit financially from the growing industry.
Grenada's stance on gender equality was the focus of a just concluded 2-day workshop on gender mainstreaming. It included discussion on the legislation, policies and programs relating to gender. The ultimate aim of the workshop is to educate stakeholders in an effort to achieve gender equality. Details from Delroy Louison.
The 2-day workshop brought together various gender focal points from different spheres in society, as well as government officials, to come up with a clear understanding of Grenada's stance on gender equality and its regional priorities. The initiative was done within the context of the Beijing Platform for Action, which, according to UN Women, is an agenda for women's empowerment. Addressing the gathering on Tuesday, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, Veronica Charles, said we must be conscious of gender mainstreaming, which must be included in everything we do, being mindful of the many issues of gender equality which affect men and women.
We know that we do have focal points here representing every ministry, every statutory body, and other agencies, our social partners. So we hope at the end of the day that these focal points and government officials will have the tools to integrate programming for gender equality in the ministries, agencies, and divisions. That gender focal points and other government officials have a shared understanding of country-based and regional gender equality priorities within the context of the Beijing Platform for Action.
Minister for Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, the Honorable Delma Thomas, said the workshop brings persons closer to realizing gender equality.
Government is committed to gender mainstreaming. In fact, the very fact that there are 7 women in the parliament speaks to our commitment as a government. The very fact that we have a woman as a Governor General and many women are now on boards, it speaks to our commitment as a government. I also want to commend UN Women, who have always been there with us in assisting us, our gender policies and all other actions we have taken as a ministry and as a government in promoting equality among women and men in our country. Today's workshop is a closer step to gender equality. So it assists us in realizing gender equality. This involves the integration of gender perspectives into the preparation, design, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of policies, regulations, measures, and spending programs with a view of promoting equalities between women and men and eliminating discrimination.
One of the facilitators, Deputy Representative for UN Women Caribbean, Tony Ann Bruder, gave an overview of the two-day workshop. She said gender issues are not theoretical in nature, but are real-life issues experienced by men and women.
What we're going to be doing is going through gender in a real lived way. So you understand, as the PS indicated, how to mainstream gender in a way that means something. The Prime Minister of Barbados challenged us last year at a meeting for ministers and representatives of bureaus of gender affairs across the region. And she said, you know, you guys come together often to talk about gender, but what does this mean for the people of the Caribbean? And that is what we need to start figuring out. Not only how can we integrate it so that it resonates in true, substantive, realized change for the citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and the entire Caribbean.
One of the expected outcomes of the workshop is having gender focal points and government officials understand the gaps to achieving gender equality nationally and regionally, and a commitment to take action to bridge those gaps. For the National Report, I'm Delroy Lozan.
And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.